first one is about sleep. By the way, on June 4th, the next time I'll be with you, the first Wednesday of June, the entire topic will be about sleep. Everything you've ever wanted to know about sleep, what sleep deprivation does to your body, and all my best tips to get the best sleep. So I've posted an article right here, the first one on this morning. It's called Catch Plenty of Z's. So you can get a little sneak preview of what I'll be talking about on June 4th.
Looking forward to that one on sleep.
Yes.
Okay, brought us up to speed on the new newsletter. Now, we started a topic last month. It was so appropriate because that month was April, and absolutely everybody was thinking about spring cleaning then. It's still carried over, but we want to talk today about wrapping this up because I've got some excitement because I know what's coming. I think you've done a great job with trying to explain how the listener, can take charge of this issue and do this at least once a year, maybe multiple times. So why don't you get it going, Susan? How does one detox their cells and their body?
Yeah, well, I'll go through my multi-step plan. I've got 180 steps. No, just kidding. But I'll just do a quick 2-minute overview of what I talked about last time. Overview of why do we need to detox? There are so many chemicals in our environment. You know, it's sad to say, but there are pesticides in foods, chemicals in the water, pollutants in the air. Even our cosmetics are full of chemicals. So we basically live in a soup of daily toxic chemicals. But one of the greatest health secrets is that you have control over the pollution in your body. And if you keep a clean and balanced internal environment, then you're not going to succumb to that toxic buildup that's so prevalent in most people's bodies. And there's no doubt about it, Dennis. The people who cleanse regularly, look and feel younger, are healthier, live a much longer life than those who ignore the need to cleanse. And when you keep the colon and the liver and the kidneys and the skin, and our lungs, through good air, when you keep them free of toxins and waste, then you free up energy in your body to be used to help revitalize your body. And, of course, it also helps to keep the liver and the intestinal tract, and I'll talk about how to do that in a moment, free of toxins, because then they're able to manufacture nutrients as well as absorb them from your food much more efficiently. And my grandmother, as I mentioned last time, she taught me to not just wait till January 1st each year, but to take 1 day a week and then 2 to 3 days monthly and maybe 7 to 10 days with each change of season. Because our level of toxic exposure these days outstrips our body's natural elimination mechanisms. So if you could be a little bit more proactive and take 1 day a week and maybe 3 days a month, and then if you want to go a little bit longer, we're coming up towards summer, and then you wear less clothes and you might wear bathing suits, and it's also a great way to break any bad habits you might have, like always salting your food or being addicted to white sugar, white flour products and sodas. By the way, I learned from one of the doctors this weekend in Hawaii that 2 sodas a day will lower your immune system by 40% by drinking 2 sodas a day. Actually, you don't want to drink sodas. They make your body too acidic. So let's go through some of the tips to have a very efficient detoxification program.
All right, take it away.
How do you detox? How do you do it?
Well, at least once a year, sometimes twice. I mean, we just went through this in my house last week. My 15-year-old became aware that he wanted to cleanse. So we had a giant discussion about this.
Really?
Yeah. And so he, at 15,
He probably has a girlfriend who mentioned it, right?
Actually, he has a girlfriend. I don't know if she mentioned it, but this is Hot Topic. We can't really discuss this anymore on the air.
Right. Yeah, go ahead.
But anyway, the conversation's a live and fresh one because we went off to our health food store and I took the opportunity to teach him. There were 8, 12 different kinds of cleanses there, and we walked through them all. And we settled on the one that after we discussed it, we'd like to pursue. So I usually use a professionally made cleanse that I get at a health food store. I try to get the healthiest kind. And then we always want to lay down. We headed to the refrigerated area where we had a purchase, and he asked me, what is a probiotic? I knew we were in trouble when he asked me what a probiotic was, but we took the time to describe it too. So he's cleansing and laying down the new flora in the colon. So am I. So that's how I do it.
Hey, that's excellent.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
It was a great teaching opportunity.
I have an entire article that was just in a big international magazine on spring cleaning your body, and it's in my current newsletter on my homepage. So you did what I recommend. I always say right before you, and this is like one step, right before you begin a detox, you want to get organized. You want to set the tone for the entire program, even if it's 1 day or 3 days. Every couple years, I go a whole month and I do a detox. But one of the things you do is you do some shopping for the best foods and the best teas. Now, I recommend that and this is kind of 1 and 2 together, I recommend that when you do a detox, you've got to eat foods that are the easiest to digest, that have good fiber content to help keep the whole digestive system cleaned out. And you want to stay away from animal products because, all animal products, they have absolutely no fiber in them, and they're very difficult for the digestive system to process. So you sort of want to go vegetarian, vegan when you're on a cleanse. And especially if it's 1 day or, let's say, a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or a Saturday, Sunday, Monday, that's easy to do. Mm-hmm. You might want to get some detox teas. Any tea that would have, say, burdock root in it. That burdock root is a great detoxifier for your body. And in fact, every single morning, and I did this before, I have a glass of it right here before I called the engineer, is I make a big 2 quarts of water, and I've talked to you about this before, in my glass teapot. And I like a glass teapot because then I know it's clean on the inside. With the metal ones, you can't see inside.
Exactly.
And I like to know it's clean. So I put in my good, fresh alkaline water, and I go to the refrigerator, and I pull out 3 roots. I pull out ginger root, ginger root. I pull out burdock root that I always get at my local health food store. I get it at my co-op, or they have it at Whole Foods. I also get turmeric. Turmeric powder, but you can buy it in a root form. And I bring the water to a boil, and I slice 3 to 4 coins with the skin on of these 3 different roots. Burdock, you could do just 1, but 3 are great. Ginger and turmeric, and then I let it simmer for 10 minutes, and it changes the color of the water to this beautiful orangey green color. And then I drink that. I take the green tea that's already made in my refrigerator in a pitcher, and I fill the glass halfway up with the green tea, because it's good to have something hot to drink in the morning to get things moving through your system. And I don't want to pour the simmering tea, the root tea I just made, into a glass because it might break, right? Mm-hmm. So that's why I fill it first with some cold green tea. And then I drink it as hot as I can take it without burning my mouth, and it just gets things moving. You want to stay near the bathroom, within 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, you'll feel very cleaned out with what happens when you do your business, if you get my drift, in the bathroom. But anyway, burdock root and milk thistle. Have you heard of that herb, milk thistle?
Oh, great liver. Yeah, sure.
The best, if anybody drinks alcohol, you should take some milk thistle every day. but it's especially good when you detoxify. And then you want to get all these beautiful fresh fruits and vegetables. It's wonderful to have a good blender because the blender does a lot of work, takes a lot of work off of your digestive system because those blades break down the fiber. And when you do a cleanse, it's always good to have one or two of green smoothies. And I've got lots of recipes on my website. So every time you make a smoothie, I usually use water or tea as my liquid base rather than anything heavier, so I don't have to have extra calories. And I usually make detox teas that I've purchased at the health food store, and that will be my base. And then I'll always put in some type of leafy green, like romaine lettuce. Romaine lettuce is great because it gives you the benefit of the greens, but you really don't taste it. Spinach is the same way. One of the number one leafy greens is kale. It's like the hot superfood to have right now. And it's just, you don't taste it in the smoothie. It just might make it turn green, which is wonderful. I usually put in either a few chia seeds or flax seeds. And then I'll put in some fresh fruit. Right now you get lots of fresh fruit in season. But if it's wintertime, I might pull out a bag of frozen blueberries or raspberries, or maybe I love my pineapple. I love that, or mango or papaya. Those are all great. I always put in a teaspoon of the Hawaiian spirulina powder, and I'll tell you why in a moment, why that helps with detoxification. But it's good during a detox to have a green smoothie. And with kids, if you name it something really fun, they're more apt to drink it. Like you can name it the Green Monster Smoothie or the Spider-Man Smoothie. That's something that Spider-Man would like, or Superman Smoothie. Then kids are more apt to drink these, and they taste great.
Oh yeah, I like the fact that you're using kale. Okay, that's an odd one, but it certainly's got a lot of nutrition associated with it. So
yeah,
and that spirulina is
babies. There is more calcium. It's a good source of protein, but and omega-3 fatty acids. But there's more calcium in kale, ounce per ounce, than there is in milk or any other products you eat that would, like yogurt. So kale, gosh, it's so wonderful for you. Find ways to add that to your diet, and especially when you're detoxifying. So those are 2 steps. Get everything organized. If you're doing a week, let's say a 7 to 10 day cleanse, I always recommend to get your bedroom looking right. If it's cluttered, declutter it before the program, because that needs to be the place of rest and relaxation. You might want to put on fresh bed linens and just get your bedroom feeling relaxing and calming and rejuvenating, because you'll want to sleep a lot, as much as possible when you cleanse. And I think I'll just skip to this tip right now. You see, sleep is when your body renews and rebuilds and detoxifies and rejuvenates. Sleep is when we reset our appetite control in our pain center. Sleep is when our energy regroups for the day to come. And there is nothing more restorative for your body than getting good sleep every single night, which is why I want to devote an entire show to it on June 4th with you. So when you do a detox, like I mentioned last time, you might feel a little bit more tired than normal, and that's okay because your body's doing a lot of house cleansing, and you want to take that time to relax. And when I say do a 3-day, that's why I say make the weekend, when hopefully you don't have to go to work, part of the 2 days, so a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or a Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Now, you might get a little bit of a headache. A lot of people do, or a very slight fever when you begin to do a cleanse. That actually is a sign that you really do need to cleanse. I don't get those anymore, but when you haven't done a cleanse in a long time, that can happen. But you need to ride through it. That is a sign that your body is doing house cleansing. You might release lots of mucus during the cleanse. You might see it looking back up at you at the in the toilet, or you might be clearing your throat a lot. But that is a sign that your body's cleansing. You might have some mood swings or even a little bit of depression, but that's all right. You know, I know people are thinking, gosh, with all these symptoms, that you might not get any of them, but I'm just saying perhaps. Why would you cleanse? But I promise you, at the end of a detox, especially if you go a little longer than one day, you'll feel lighter and more peaceful. You'll feel like you have more control over your body, and you'll actually experience an increase in self-esteem and confidence, and you'll be happier, and you'll just have more energy in a flatter abdominal area. You'll feel fantastic.
Okie doke.
So let me move on to another step, and I call it Hawaiian Vitality. What I learned this weekend, but I knew before I went there, is that Hawaiian spirulina, according to hundreds of studies, is the spirulina in general, but the Hawaiian spirulina is the best. It has over 100 nutrients in it, but it's the most nutrient-rich superfood, and it is a food on the planet.
Yes. And
one of the components of spirulina is, and I've mentioned it briefly to you before, is, I love this word, it's phycocyanin. And on my website, if you go in the navigation bar to articles, and you look down about 8 or 9, there's an or 10, it's an article called Phycocyanin.
I see it.
You see Nature's Magic, and I have lots and lots of scientific studies there. And see, phycocyanin is being studied now by scientists all over the world. And phycocyanin, the word phycocyanin comes from the Greek word for algae, meaning phyco, and the Greek word for blue, which is cyan, C-Y-A-N. And so, you see, phycocyanin is this water-soluble blue pigment, and if you ever put the spirulina powder in water and you stir it, it doesn't mix perfectly well right away, but I let it sit for 15 minutes, and then it stirs. And if you ever didn't drink it all, and you poured it into the kitchen sink, which we hope you don't do, but I did yesterday by accident because I hit the glass and it went into the sink. But it was the most beautiful bluish color all over the sink. So spirulina is a blue-green algae, and phycocyanin is only found in blue-green algae like spirulina. You can't find it in any other food on the planet. And so it's not in other green foods, and this is the vital difference between spirulina and foods like chlorella and wheatgrass and barley grass. And the phycocyanin, just this one component of spirulina, has been found to reduce allergy response, to reduce stress in the body, to help with hangovers, curbs your appetite and junk food cravings, reduces arthritic pain and inflammation. It's showing great promise in treating cancer in animals. They've done lots of studies with animals, and they're about to work with it on humans. But what's germane to this topic of detox is there have been many studies done in Japan on phycocyanin and how phycocyanin protects the liver and the kidneys during detoxification, as well as activating the immune system. And to get the most from phycocyanin, you want 500 milligrams of it a day. Now, you can't buy supplements of it in the store, and you wouldn't need to because it's in the Hawaiian spirulina. One serving of the Hawaiian spirulina, 3,000 milligrams, it doesn't matter if it's tablet or powder form, gives you 519 milligrams of phycocyanin. So you can read much more about it on my website. That is one component of the spirulina. And it also gives you energy. It's detoxifying. It alkalizes your body because the more acidic your body, and we've done two shows devoted to metabolic acidosis, you and I. But if your body becomes too acidic, then it becomes much more toxic. And the more you can alkalize your body, the more your body can get rid of all the extra toxic residue. So the spirulina is very alkalizing to your body, high in protein. So I take this every day, but I take extra when I'm detoxifying. I normally take 3 grams a day, 3,000 milligrams. Mm-hmm. When I detoxify, if I'm on a detox program like I am right now, I double that. I take double the amount, but I never take it right before I go to bed because it tends to give you a little energy. I don't sleep as well, so I take it morning. I divide it up between morning and then late afternoon. I just don't take it a few moments before I go to bed. And also the Hawaiian astaxanthin is great because it's a wonderful antioxidant that helps quell inflammation in the body and especially the digestive system. So I recommend taking 12 milligrams of that a day. Remember, I'll give you their 800 number, but when you use the code REVITALIZE, you can get a 25% discount on the Hawaiian astaxanthin or the spirulina. And you know I've got lots of articles about these on my website. But the 800 number is 800-453-1187. 800-453-1187. Now, one of the things I did in Hawaii this weekend in my natural beauty talk is I demonstrated how, and this is good to detoxify and rejuvenate your skin, is you can make a facial mask. And I have several recipes on my website. And one of them is my banana spirulina facial mask. You see, bananas are one of your skin's best friends. And not only are they good for the skin when eaten, but they're also a natural moisturizer when used topically. Now, I know a lot of men are thinking, what is she talking about? But we women know that it's good to take care of your skin. And rather than spending a lot of money in a beauty store buying these masks that you don't know how old they are to put on your skin, you can make things in your kitchen and leave your skin feeling soft and in the pink. And what you do is you take one, I'll just give you the recipe really quickly, although you can get it on my website, but you take one ripe banana and you mash it up so it's smooth without any lumps, and you take 1/2 teaspoon of spirulina powder. And I did this, I had someone come up and put her hair back in a ponytail, and I made this mask in front of everyone and put it on her face and her neck and the décolleté area that we've talked about before. Yeah, a great word. So you want to apply it to a clean face, and you want to double the recipe if you also want to put it on your neck and the décolleté area. But I'll tell you a little secret since nobody else is listening, just you and I. I also put it on the back of my hands because I want my hands to look young throughout my life. And I leave it on for 10 to 20 minutes. I usually relax with it on. And then I rinse it off with warm water. I usually just get in the shower to do that. And then I finish off with a cold rinse, and your skin will be absolutely glowing. And I do this every maybe 3 to 4 times, usually 3 times a month. I do this to keep my skin looking really good. So that's something that you can make right in your kitchen.
Okay. Let's move on.
All right. Now, next, a couple things just to keep your environment detoxified. I always recommend that when you come into your home, have a little area right when you enter to put your shoes, because there's so many things on the bottom of your shoes, from dog stuff to petrochemicals to tar, and just things on the bottom of your shoes. So what I do whenever, and I've done this for decades, and I know many people do this as well, when I come in the door, I take my shoes off, and then I have a pair of actually really comfy slippers, but doesn't matter. But it doesn't matter what it is. It's just a shoe that you always want to keep inside your house. You don't want to go outside with it. And so that's a great idea to keep your home environment a little more free of toxins. Maybe I hear it's raining a lot where you are today, right?
Right now, yes.
Yeah, so maybe after today you want to open more windows because the quality of air inside your home is worse than outside, often due to the off-gassing of fabrics and household furniture, carpets, cleaning solutions. So you want to get in as much fresh air as possible. And I also recommend that about every year or two, you want to replace your mattress pad on the bed. You want to get a good mattress pad, maybe a hypoallergenic one, that helps keep allergens to a minimum, so that you have a clean area where you sleep all the time. These are just things that you can do inside your home. By the way, it goes without saying, and I have a little article in my current newsletter about my favorite natural home cleaning solution that costs pennies to make. I'm sure some people already know what it is, but I tell you why it's so good and how to make it. So that's in my current newsletter. So you want to have a supportive environment. You want to make sure that let me see what time it is. Okay, we're good. I always recommend I call it the buddy cleanse. If you can find a family member, like you're doing with your son, right?
Oh, yeah.
Or a friend in the neighborhood, or I even have a friend that lives over in Florida, and we often do cleanses together. That just means that I know that she's doing one when I'm doing one, and we might email once a day or visit by telephone to see how we both did. And if I'm tempted to go off it and go have a rich meal at a restaurant, I'm less apt to do that, knowing that I have a friend somewhere that's doing the cleanse with me, and I don't want to let her down or let myself down. So having someone to share the experience with sometimes is a little more comforting, just like it's great for you and your son to do this cleanse together. Now, let's talk about one of my favorite topics, an easy, inexpensive way to cleanse, and that is dry skin brushing. And I have an article about it in my current newsletter, but remember that your skin is your biggest eliminative organ. It's an organ on your body. And the skin is a major area for the elimination of toxic waste from our system. It's often been called the third kidney because it works closely with the kidneys to help cleanse uric acid. And you want to make a commitment to do 30 days of dry skin brushing. First of all, obviously, you need a dry skin brush. And you need to get a natural vegetable fibers. You don't want nylon or synthetic. And you want a long handle so you can reach those areas of your body that are harder to reach. And dry skin brushing has the name because you brush your body, obviously without the clothes on, before you bathe or shower. And I usually get in my clothes are off, I get in the shower, and you do it takes 2 minutes, little circular motions. You always go towards your heart. Mm-hmm. I start at my feet, and but you want to not brush the private areas, obviously, and I don't brush my face. And if you have any areas of eczema or psoriasis or irritation, I would avoid those areas as well. But why do you dry skin brush? Because it exfoliates all the dead skin, that outer layer of skin on the top of your body. All of the women listening know about this. We exfoliate our face because it helps cell regeneration. By the way, one of the best things about Hawaiian spirulina in terms of natural beauty is it accelerates cell regeneration on your skin, along with the astaxanthin, which is wonderful because you see new skin cells come out quicker, which keeps you younger looking. But you dry skin brush, and what it does is it improves circulation to your skin. It helps with cellulite. That's a good thing. And when you remove all the dead skin cells and toxins, your skin will absolutely be glowing. Now, when you're younger, up until about the age 35 or 40, takes about 30 days for all the skin cells you see on your body to be renewed. But you can help them be renewed quicker if you exfoliate with dry skin brushing. Then you shower or bathe, and then you pat dry, put on some moisturizer. But in 1 month of doing this, you'll have skin that looks like a baby. You can find these brushes at beauty supply stores, sometimes in health food stores. In my current newsletter, I show you that I always buy them, and one brush will last you a couple years. But I go to, Bernard Jensen, the company.
Oh yeah, the
anyway.
iridology guy.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, he used to be a wonderful friend of mine. He passed away a few years ago at 100 and something. But his daughter-in-law, Ellen Tart Jensen, has wonderful detox products, and I get my dry skin brushes through them. That's all in my newsletter. So you want a dry skin brush. I highly recommend that you drink good alkaline water. Remember, our bodies, the inside of our cells, and our planet are all 70% water. That's no coincidence. So at the very least, you've got to drink eight glasses of water every day, and especially when you detoxify, because it puts more stress on the liver and kidneys if your body's dehydrated. And you know that for 20 years I've used this device that hooks to my faucet in the kitchen, and I get perfect alkaline water because, when your body becomes too acidic, I've talked about this before, it creates an environment conducive to disease and holding on to toxic residue. But when you create more alkalinity in your body through eating lots of fresh fruits and vegetables and alkaline water, then your body stays detoxified much easier year-round. And my favorite way to detoxify, and this is something that would cost money, obviously, but my favorite way is through whole body effective detoxification, and that's with taking infrared saunas. Probably how nice that sounds to all of you there with the pouring rain outside. But you see, a dry sauna is different than a wet, as I write about on my website, and a dry sauna is different from an infrared sauna. And far infrared is the section of the natural band of light that's not visible to the human eye, but it can be felt as heat. And unlike the high heat that's in most traditional saunas, like you probably have at a gym, the far infrared heat is able to penetrate the body to a depth of 1.5 to 2 inches. And this stimulates the body's cellular detoxification process more effectively and at lower temperatures than the traditional sauna, so you don't feel like it's suffocatingly hot. And so many of I've used infrared saunas and my favorite is Thermalife, for 20 years. And I know this is one of the reasons I stay healthy and youthful. I wish I could say to you I use it every day, but I don't always have time. But about 3 times a week, I take my infrared sauna. And I always recommend it for pain relief, for relaxation. It helps with cardiovascular conditioning, all scientifically studied. If you have trouble losing weight, one of the best and easiest ways to lose weight is literally to lie down in an infrared sauna for 20 to 30 minutes until you get good profuse sweating. It's great for cellulite control, stress relief, and it's most important to combat toxic overload. Lots of studies say by medical doctors worldwide that taking an infrared sauna is the most effective method because it's a whole body detox because you profusely sweat. It's the most effective method of removing both chemical and heavy metal toxins, including mercury, from the body. And, studies indicate, Dennis, that there are between 400 and 800 chemical residues stored in the fat cells of our bodies. And to stay healthy, I believe, and strong in this chemical-ridden world, it's essential to help the body increase its removal of harmful and deadly waste products. So a sauna is a quick and easy way to do this. It's so easy. You can take something in to read. You can listen to your motivational tapes. You could sleep in the sauna. I often do that. I just lie down, and then I wake up, and I've had a profuse sweat, and then I take a cool shower, and there's nothing that a makeup artist could duplicate in your skin to make you look better than the glow you get after taking an infrared sauna. The only one I recommend, because it's an environmentally well-built sauna, is by High Tech Health. I'll give you their 800 number. You can call just to get more information. It's 800-794-5355. And I always go to their product specialist, Emily. She's at extension 802. She's brilliant, and she's the one I ask questions to. And it's a company called High Tech Health. That's where I recommend people get a sauna or that Ionizer Plus alkaline machine. They're in Boulder, Colorado.
Great. That number again?
Their number, it's in Mountain Time, by the way. It's 800-794-5355. Obviously, you can go to my website, and under more articles, you can find, detox, and under articles, the first article is about alkaline water, the second is about saunas. All this information is right there. But they can send you out brochures, or I would just make a list of questions. And you can get a one-person one. You could put in the corner of your bedroom. You could get a 6-person sauna. Now, I get 6-person, although I use it by myself, because I want the 6-person, because I want to lie down. Sometimes I sit up if I need to read, but sometimes I want to lie down and just rest. That's why I get the larger ones, because it has a long bench in it.
Okay, doke. We are coming up to that. How do you want to pull this together? Because with a couple minutes to go, you don't want to be caught abruptly off guard. So bring this whole thing.
We've only scratched the surface. So go to my May-June newsletter, and you can read everything about detoxification. You can get the free book on my homepage called Detoxify and Rejuvenate, and also the Curative Kitchen. But I'd like to say, wrapping it up, is keep in mind that the secret to vibrant health and always being young throughout your life is in cleansing the body and mind, and then always adopting a lifestyle that has a positive thoughts, natural foods, pure water, fresh air, a little sunshine, and exercise. Really not that difficult, because when we learn to cleanse the body and mind, then we live a healthier, more energetic life. When the body's burdened with toxic waste material, it will be tired, you'll have low self-esteem. But when your body is clean, it absorbs more efficiently the nutrients that it needs from the foods you eat to heal, repair, maintain good health. So the next time, Dr. Dennis, you hear that expression, that cleanliness is next to godliness, you understand that it conveys a very important aspect of health and happiness, that the more cleansed you keep your beautiful, miraculous body, the more room you'll have to be filled with light.
Perfect. Bongos in the background say it's our time out of here. Look, have a wonderful month. You're back with us on the 4th of June to talk about sleep.
And we won't be putting anybody to sleep.
Okay. Thank you so much, Susan. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoyed our show today. Look forward to seeing you on Friday. We'll talk a lot about the big O then. Ozone, that is. Until then, this is Dr. Dennis Courtney with Susan Smith-Jones saying so long for AM Impact on Your Health. Okay, Susan.
When are you going to Arizona?
That's the May 14th through the 18th.
So next week.